Welcome to the first episode of Quad Shot, a four-part series thing for me watching Erased, the entirety of Erased in 4 shots. 4 parts, 4 shots, that's kind of what I call them. This is part 1, link in description below to go watch my reaction. Next week will be part 2, a week after that, part 3, part 4, until the end of the month, and then the next month, and so on and so forth, will be, the other ones. So click in the link in the description below to go watch my first part reaction for the first 3 episodes of Erased, and then come back here to see my full thoughts, ideas, and theories about these episodes and what's to come and all that kind of stuff. I do have a little bit to talk about because it's a pretty cool show. So go click away, watch my reaction, and then come back here. So click away now, or be spoiled as to what happened in these episodes. Okay, so a very cool premise of a show, very cool show. The whole idea of this like superpower to like rewind time just like a couple minutes, whatever. Well, at first it was a couple minutes. Um, that is super freaking cool. Like I love time travel stuff, so this is like exactly that. Like it's time travel stuff. Um, the only thing is he doesn't keep his current body, whatever. His mind is the same. So he's a 29-year-old in his younger self, kind of thing. But yeah, I mean it's a cool premise. Like I really enjoyed it so far. Like it's gonna be really cool to see what happens next. So I am hardcore, still suspecting the teacher of being the kidnapper, the one that kills his mom, basically. Um, and I'm wondering if there's going to be side effects to saving the girl. Then with the red, basically, Caillou. Um, I'm wondering if it's gonna anything he does in the past, right? It's gonna change the future. That's the point because he's trying to save his mom, basically. But I'm interested in what else is gonna drastically change. Because he's not only is he reliving what he did when he was younger, 18 years, but he's also like a 29-year-old in a 10-year-old self, or 11-year-old self, whatever. Um, so he's gonna have knowledge of the future beyond just like these events that he needs to change, but like just small things like the girl at the pizza place, probably other characters and people he's met, kind of thing along the way. Um, he'll probably write differently for his manga, whatever, to get it published, stuff like that. Like it's gonna drastically change the way he does future things because he's so far back. Right now, he's conflicted trying to remember all these different things from his childhood. Um, and that premise alone is super freaking cool because you can't remember every single detail when you're a kid because it's so long ago that you can't remember like anything. Like even me, like just like thinking back at like if I when I was 10, like I know I was starting to get into computers, but the day to day like opera schedule of mine like back then, I don't even remember. Like I know just like small things here and there, but like nothing drastic. I know this in particular is like a hard time in his timeline because he saw Caillou in the park, and then she goes missing, and then he blames himself, kind of thing. So it's like a really hard memory in his mind. So of course he's gonna remember that. But like the other stuff, right? Like the childhood friends' names and that kind of thing. Like I probably remember like just like a half, maybe like 3/4 of my like childhood friends' names, but other than that, I probably forget a lot of them. To be honest, so like, me is a different story. I forget things a lot, but just like the whole premise of going back that far and then trying to remember every little thing you did when you were the kid, when you were that age or whatever, is like extraordinary. For just as a premise of a show, it is really, really cool. So I'm pumped to see what's gonna happen next for sure. At the very end, we saw a little bit of Kenya or Kenya, one of those, the blonde kid that was a friend of his, who always like questioned or backed him up, kind of thing, with Caillou's stuff, whatever. Um, so I'm interested to see what that's all about. Um, Also, I had like kind of theories about the guy who was framed, the person who was the with the planes, whatever. Um, I had a feeling that maybe he was part of the operation, whatever, but he was like almost like like a scouter. He's like he just kind of scouted and then told the guy like that one, whatever, something like that, and then he goes and grabs her. So that was kind of like a theory I had, but like I don't think so. I think he's just a guy. He's just a guy who hangs around. Um, Seems cool enough to me, anyways. But it might change. Might be a plot twist later on. Um, it's gonna be interesting to see, but what happens with the blonde kid, Kenya. Again, I said this in my reaction at the very end, but the stuff I say in this video, I said a month ago. If you're watching this on YouTube when it's go public, so everything I'm saying right now, there's no point in trying to correct me because I'm already done with the show and all that kind of stuff. So there's no point in like yelling at me in the comments. Oh, you're saying his name wrong, or whatever like that. Like I'm already done with the show. Like if you're watching this on YouTube when it's public, um, I'm already done with it. Like I've already watched all of it. So sorry. But if you're watching this on Patreon or whatever, feel free to correct me on a couple things that I've might have mistaken or whatever, because it's an ongoing show on Patreon. So yeah, or message me on Discord or something like that. Anyways, it's a really cool show. I really really enjoy it. It's going to be really cool to see what happens for sure. I can definitely. I was wondering too. One of my theories was if he can go forward in time. Like obviously, trying to figure out the outcome of Caillou and everything is like the most important thing because it affects his mom in the long run. Because the mom recognized the guy briefly, or whatever, the teacher. I know it's teacher. It's like he's suspect number one. But she recognized the teacher. Teacher recognized her. He killed her. That kind of stuff. And then he goes back in time to fix the mistake, and the power, his revival power, whatever, like subconsciously knows what he needs to fix, but that he doesn't know himself, so he has to go like and fix it. So I don't know. It's gonna be interesting for sure. Like, because the big thing is for him, he's trying to save this one girl, but ultimately he needs to stop the person, the person who's kidnapping all these kids and everything. So as a kid, that's going to be pretty difficult, but maybe he can get some help and achieve that, whatever. So it's going to be interesting for sure. I keep saying that, but it's a really cool premise of a show. I'm really enjoying it. I love time travel stuff like this. Where like it messes with time, that kind of stuff, because it's super interesting, like the whole butterfly effect, that kind of stuff. Like even in this, he's got like a blue butterfly that appears whenever he goes back in time, a few minutes, whatever. But he did see it again before going back 18 years to fix the current mistake. So one big thing I want to know is does he still have revival even as a kid, like right now? Can he predict certain things he needs to fix like he did in the past, because as we know, the mom said that he did something with a fire, and he predicted something or whatever, to something to do with the fire. Like she mentioned a fire, like oh, when you're a kid in the fire, like that. So I'm guessing that's like a foreshadowing to us, like as fans, because there's gonna be a scene later on where there's gonna be a fire and he's gonna like know what to do. But I'm interested to see if revival kicks in at all through his time as a child, or is it just going to be dormant until like he gets to his older years again, and then it kicks in again, kind of thing. Because um, it was. I don't think you can. It kicks in twice to protect you, kind of thing. Like like for instance, the truck driver that like at the very beginning that like almost hit the kid or whatever. I don't think if he failed to do that, Revival would kick back one more time to attempt it again, kind of thing. So going by that logic, like I it pushed him back 18 years. So I don't think it's gonna kick in again until the 18th year or like that when he left, kind of thing. Like after that, then it kicks in again, kind of thing. That's kind of like my theory on it, but who knows? That's why one big thing that I'm questioning right now is does he still have Revival that can kick in and help him out whenever something's off or whatever, and hopefully it saves him from attack just in case like the teacher does figure out that he's like following him or whatever or like suspecting him. He can use Revival to help him stay alive. So I'm super interested in that and all that kind of stuff. So super pumped about this show. So yeah, going into a little bit more detail about Quad Shot. For those of you wondering anything like that, Quad Shot is basically one shot but split into four. One Shot was my series where I did the entire series in one sitting, just sitting down right here watching like 12 episodes of anime in one sitting, in one shot. But instead of doing that, because that was very time consuming and I could never find the time to do it again, I split it up into four parts. So now there's going to be one shot, two shot, three shot, and four shot, or fourth shot, I could say. First shot, second shot, third shot, fourth shot. All basically revolving around the show. Erased kind of thing. So this video is the first shot, and then next week will be the second shot, and then the third shot, and then the fourth shot to wrap it up. And it will always be four. And like I said before, if there is a month that has a fifth week, it'll just be a break, and there won't be any video on that day. So yeah. It's a cool premise for a show for anime. So I'm excited to get back into it. So next week we're going to be starting up Second Shot, which is episode 4 through 6. So I'm pumped. Yeah. Sorry, I'm just reading a little bit of the timestamps. It looks like we're not going to be watching anything until the very end. Basically, the episode 12 is we're going to watch the OP and the ending and all kind of stuff. So. Yeah. Well, the ending on episode 11, but we had to go back and watch it after that. But anyways, we're gonna be watching that at the very end of the anime, just cause it's what we do. So yeah, I hope you guys are pumped for this show as much as I am, because like I said, I keep saying it. It's a cool premise for a show. I love time travel stuff, so this is gonna be fun. So thank you so much for watching. Tune in next week for the second shot of the 4-shot series, and I will see you guys then. Take care, buddy.